You go.
My ladies, how are you guys doing? Welcome back on the Optimal CP time. Welcome back. How's everyone doing tonight?
Yay, we back, guys. We in the building.
Hi, I'm so happy to see your faces.
Right?
What beautiful melanated black lovely magic. Okay, let me stop. Hey guys.
No, don't stop. Come on,
magic, black energy, blessed by the best. So a lot has been going on since the last time we've been on. Oh my gosh, we have an opportunity to have a first female president. We have a lot of people coming out as, I don't even know the word I want to say.
What are you even talking about? Could be a lot of people like who?
We have a Sean Puffy Combs.
Oh, that one. Ooh.
A master sex trafficker, allegedly has had his penis with everyone and on and in everyone.
Allegedly,
he's the baby oil king. He the baby oil king, and that's not allegedly. That's factually. Okay. We've had a lot of legends pass. Like our daddy from Good Times is gone, and the guy from Earth
and James Earl Jones
and the boys. Yeah, so a lot has been happening. Some time we took a break, and the break turned into extended break, but now we're here, and so happy to see all of you. So tonight we're going to talk about the same thing that's happening. It's literally the last 2.5 months of the year, and changes are happening in life. Changes are happening as women, right? We are women, but I feel like at each stage and each season of our life, we learn more about this intricate person that we are and this life that we've been provided. And so tonight we call this episode or this segment in this season, because it could be so many different things for different people. And so we are coming to you being a bit more transparent about our season, because even though you see us together talking all the time, we are actually in different stages of our lives. We're experiencing different things in our lives, and we're really at a new crossroad, because we go past crossroads all the time of what's next. What's next for me? What's next for my circle? And so this is where we are. So before we start talking, let me remind you, I'm your girl, Black Pearl. And to my right is Miss Communication.
Hey guys, what's up?
And right beneath me is the Doc. Hey Doc.
Hey boo.
And then next to the Doc is the lovely Coach Tay. All right. And we're going to give you an experience. Please join in, add comments, share your experience also. We are talking, but it's really not just about us. We know all of us watching and just in general go through things as well. So anyone want to volunteer before I call you out like I usually do? Where's life at for you, Lynn? Or miscommunication. Apologize.
So right now as we speak, I have to go back to one of the shows we did a while back about doing a vision board.
Right. I will say this of the year.
Yeah, I did a vision. We did a vision board like right after maybe the first two, after the first 2 weeks of the year. It's kind of we came back after the holidays, and we talked about doing a vision board. And at first, I was like the most skeptical person you could ever,
I remember.
I was like, this a vision board? Who's gonna go and get cut out pictures and papers and do all them things there? That's absolutely preposterous. That's ridiculous.
Right.
And I think we said that show. We said, okay, well, next time we come on, we're going to, show our vision boards. So, of course, being the good student that I am, I went and I did my vision board. And I put all the things and and we never did a follow-up show about that.
Right. Life started lifing.
Right. But I put the vision board to the side, but I put it in a place where I could see it every day. Like we talked about.
Right.
And as I was seeing it every day, I was kind of like manifesting the life that I wanted.
Right.
And guess what? The life that I wanted started to actually happen.
Right.
The life that I wanted actually started to happen, which was like really crazy because I feel as though I think that in the moments that I was actually thinking about life in general, I kind of like said, no, this is what I want. And instead of like actually, and God was actually saying, okay, well, you ready? Because I wasn't ready before. And I say that all the time. So one of the things that changed is I got a new position, a new job working at a school, which I swear on everything I love. I thought if anybody ever told me I was going to work at a school, I would have punched them in the throat. Because what do you mean working in the school with children? With other people's children? But I got a position working at a school.
I'm gonna interrupt you. I'm sorry. Why not? Who was miscommunication before that made you feel like you couldn't work with children?
I didn't really like people's children. Like I really was like, but the funny thing is, I've worked at schools before. So it's not like I've never worked at a school before. I worked at schools and I was a coach at two separate times at a school. I was working with middle school and then I worked with high school, but right before COVID, and then again an opportunity presented itself. And it kind of like had to like run its course because at one point it was like, oh, this will work, but it wasn't time yet. And that's the other thing that I've learned over this time that we've been apart is that it has to be time.
Right.
Sometimes we do this thing where we're like, oh, I want X, Y, Z, and we go after it. That's great. But there's actually a time for certain things to happen. And sometimes it's not our time, it's his time. Right?
Absolutely, 100%.
And that's what I learned. I learned that and I've also put it in out there that if it's for me, it will be for me.
Right. So, all right, we're gonna come back to you. I'm gonna go to Coach Tay now. What season or what has changed, I guess, since the beginning of the year? Now that we're in October, besides the fact that it was your birthday recently.
Yay!
Happy birthday! Yes, happy birthday to me! And all the Libras, what's up? Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to Libras.
But no, I have been thriving in my work, both daytime and nighttime.
Right. Wait, be more specific, girl, because.
Oh, okay. So like, in my daytime job, right?
Yeah.
For the people the main night and day. But that's been great. Actually, like my team is growing, and I'm learning from my supervisor, which rarely happens.
Right.
But so that's exciting. And then with my Bedroom Candy, that's growing. I'm having more corporate opportunities. Like I got kind of like a promotion.
Right. You're growing, right?
Yeah. Part of the Associate Advisory Committee, so it's like the Bedroom Candy Community Leadership. So that's a big deal for me because that was one of the goals I set in my business.
Right.
So, crushing goals. And out here partying, but like I am dating, so I
do
share my life with because it's cool, like it's great, but I do want a partner, not a companion because I have one of those. Her name is Cookie. Okay, she's a Shih Tzu. Okay, I want a partner I could do life with. So, but that's new because I wasn't really open to that at first. But.
Oh, we was here with you, honey. We know you had the season. We here in the season with you.
So yeah, right. So that's changing. For the most part, I mean, of course, regular life. Buried some people. Went to some events, welcomed some babies in the world. Things of that nature. Just regular life. But just in all, just finding myself there, very grateful. Because I come a very long way, very, very,
yes,
very long.
Absolutely. All right, Doc, what about you?
So in short, I am on the short bus of my career. So I'm looking forward to retirement very soon. Um, if I can make it sooner, that'll be lovely. But it just, depends on, as Miss Communication said, on God's plan. So right now I'm just continuing to focus on achieving some professional goals for myself in order to help me elevate professionally. Um, and then, of course, I'm a grandmother, so um, that comes with.
Did that just happen?
Girl, no.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what was that?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, do you feel the milestone that you just crossed over is also part of the season in your life?
Which milestone, baby?
Your birthday.
So no, I wouldn't say. Yeah, I was like, which one? So honestly, turning the big 50 officially in June. No, I wouldn't say, because I embrace getting older. And I'm not one of those women who are like, when somebody asks, well, how old are you? Or anything like that, and they like shy away. I'm not one of them ladies. Like, I'm proud to tell you how old I am, because thankfully I don't look my age, nor
Facts.
do I act my age
Double
on
facts.
on certain occasions.
On certain occasions. 'Cause I'm like, sis.
Yeah, on certain occasions I do not act my age.
Mhm.
And so, but I do feel my age, because when I walk up them stairs, y'all, I be breathing heavy.
Stop.
So yeah, so from that standpoint, no, I don't feel like the 50 milestone made a difference.
Right.
Just in a as as I've gotten older, my state of mind has just been one of just enjoying life to the fullest, not being bothered with foolery, because I don't have no times for any of that or patience for it. And honestly, when it comes to me, just simply taking it day by day, and things that I cannot control, whether it's primarily work, because home life is lovely. Home is our refuge. It's work that drives me bananas sometimes. So from a work perspective, understanding and just accepting the fact that I can't change certain things. And so my operative word this year is pivot. I'm doing a whole lot of pivoting. If I already see that things need to be done and I'm not getting buy-in, then guess what your friend is going to do? I'm going to pivot, and I'm going to still make it happen. I'm just pivoting. So that's my word and mantra for this year: pivot.
Okay. So my portion is going to be twofold. So I'll answer the question, but while I'm answering the question, I want you guys to think of what the chapter or what the season in your season now, what it would be called,
Mm-hmm.
and what was the hardest or is the hardest lesson, which Doc already kind of tapped into a little with her thing. So for me, this season is discovering myself on a different level. I think that life has slowed down. And what I mean by that is I was in survival mode for so many years that it's just going. I'm not even taking account. It's just making sure I make it, wake up, make it to the bed in the evening, wake up, make it to the bed in the evening. And so life has slowed down quite a bit. I have 3 grown ASS children. They're grown. And I do have moments where I'm like, is this how my parents were at this age? I'm trying to like flash back to that time.
Mm-hmm.
So in this season of my life, I am now a fiance. I am a empty nester, and I am soon to be a grandmother. And so honestly, and there's moments when I'm like in the mirror, like, is this what it looks like? Like really trying to figure it out. But also comparing what a grandmother used to be to me, I'm like, am I that person?
No.
Right.
Nope. Them grandmas are different. Mm-mm.
But I am, how do you call that? what do we call a grandparent? Like my kids still rely on me, but there's a level of
matriarch.
Yep.
Thanks, Doc. That's why you the doc. That's why you the doc.
Girl, I got you.
They still need me, but I'm learning I need myself too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I can be their mother, but I can also how can I put this? I can emulate prioritizing myself, emulate setting healthy boundaries, because it's also like a mix of mom save me and hey, figure it out, and so that's where I'm at in my life.
How do you feel about that though?
See, I don't know. But I also have learned I don't know, I'm being honest. So when my son, so it's my middle son, when my son first told me that they were pregnant, I didn't do the congratulations. I didn't do all that. I was just like, why? Like, I'm just being real. Why? But I think it wasn't because I thought it was a bad thing. I think I went right into, oh my gosh, it's so hard. Are you ready for it? Going back to my things versus their experience could be completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking inside more in this season because I'm really like, what did I need? Because I literally was my son's age when I had him, which is the irony, right? What did I need? And I needed someone to extend grace to me that I didn't know what the boop I was doing. That getting pregnant was the easy part. All I had to do was, right? And just trusting that what I've given him is enough of a foundation for him to build on. And if it's not because I didn't give it to him. It's because he chooses not to have it. As far as being a fiance, oh man, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, oh man, dude. After being single for so long, I'm so very glad that he loves me. But seriously, after being single for so long, I'm learning about myself in this relationship. I'm redefining. Oh, absolutely. I'm redefining what love is.
For you, right? For you.
For me.
No, I'm asking. I want to ask
for me. I mean, not for him. I can't tell him what love is. I'm
gonna dig in because the way I feel about this whole thing, and it's so cute and it's wonderful and everything like that. I think that there is a calmness that comes with having someone that got your back and you don't gotta ask for it.
Right. But it's also, remember, I didn't come from just any previous relationship.
I understand that, and that's what I mean.
So I've discovered and learned that it's quite normal, almost the desire to find the bad stuff that you had before because that's all that you know. And so there's many times I'm talking to myself like, oh man, something must be wrong because it's so quiet, it's so relaxed. Oh my gosh, waiting for the shoe to drop, and it's just like, no, there's nothing else.
But that's the survivor. That's the being in survival mode all the time. Right. You always, it's like when your children are young, right? As mothers, you kind of like always listening for the door, always listening for the telephone, always listening for these things, and then when they get to a certain age, when they move out and stuff like that, it's almost like, oh. And you don't necessarily, you still kind of like look for it, but you don't look for it the way it, the way it was.
And I still have that also. I have the making food and I'm like, why do I make all this food?
Right. Because you're empty nester now, right?
So I think when I say discover myself, learning that it's okay, stay still, be calm. But I've discovered a safe love. Like having safety, feeling like you're in a safe place. It's okay to be yourself, right? It's okay to be goofy. It's okay to be crazy. It's okay to make mistakes. And so, yeah, it's different, but nice. It's a little painful too because I do go back and go. Like, for example, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My bad. I'll do it right. And, your partner's like, you're good. And then I flash back to what I thought was going to happen or the natural instinct of what I thought was going to happen. So, yeah, it's a It's learning. It's learning, and it's also it's like a weird relief, like almost cold water on a summer day type of relief, to be able to show my kids like I'm not somewhere in a corner, or there's not all these stories of the negative things that are happening. So it's a reintroduction to healing. So yeah, because I healed alone before, and now I'm healing in a duo.
So would that be your title? A reintroduction to healing?
A reintroduction. The miseducation of healing.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know. That's why I said it like that. Like, oh, is that the title?
I think I would call it Finding Home. It's that.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Yes, I love
it. Tay's a hopeless romantic. So don't get it wrong. I'm not a hater. I'm far from a hater. Right?
It's okay. And I'm gonna be all right. If you're like, oh, I'm a hater, I'm like, that's okay.
No, I'm not. No. Guess what? I'm not a hater. But let me just let you know. Like I'm in a. So let me go into what I'm.
Yeah, it's your. Go ahead.
I'm next, right? So like we discussed on our last show. I think we said this on our last show. At least I said it on my last show. I am officially, and I learned this recently I won't say recently, but I learned this like within the last couple of months, is that I am not relationship material right now. I am not interested in being in a act. No, for real. Like, so for a long time I was looking for my person, and I wanted my person, and my person. Oh my God, where's my person? Man, listen, I'm good.
You're not ready.
Because I realize now that much like what you said about prioritizing your happiness, right?
Right.
That I used to use a person to extract happiness from, right?
Oh, gotcha.
Even though that person was not, because you can never get happiness from somebody else.
Right. You can support the happiness they have.
Right. You got to be happy, and then the supportive person that you're with is going to support. So it's like a person is supposed to supplement you, or supplement and complement, but not be who you are or whatever without them and things of that nature. So with that being said, I specifically have decided that I am in no shape or condition to be in a relationship with somebody else.
Well,
because
I'm listening. A very deep statement. Was it a relationship that brought you there, or was it internally looking? What like?
So
what do you feel was missing?
I think that what's always been missing is that trying to explain it so that makes sense. So I feel as though when you are going to be in a relationship with someone else, it would be great to come into that relationship whole. Right. Because it's not someone else's, it shouldn't be somebody else's burden to fill those gaps in yourself, right?
But you do need a foundation to start with, and that starts with you being whole.
100%.
Okay.
And a lot of times people say, oh, you need to heal, and you need the healing and the healing process. And I used to be like, what is y'all talking, the healing process? I'm not, and now I feel as though it's not even about so much about healing. I feel as though in order for me to be the best person that I could be in any situation, I need to be okay with me. And with this new position, with this new energy, I'm almost selfishly putting it in my hands, in my lap, and not have anybody else dictate what they need or want from me. I need to figure out what I need and want for myself first before I give it to anybody. Because what was happening is I was giving it and I wasn't getting anything that was remotely refreshing. Like you said, it was like a cold. You said it was like a cold. You think it was like a cold, water on a hot. I was not getting anything. It was dry over here. Right now, I'm
so you were in one-sided relationships.
I wouldn't even call it one-sided. What I would say, because I wouldn't even call it one-sided. What I would say is this: like now, my position, I'm in a space, in a situation where I get up at 4:00 in the morning every morning. Right. Right. I go to bed. I do 12, 13, I do 13, 14-hour days. Right. I don't have time or mental dexterity to give to anybody else right now. So it would be unfair for me to share my life with someone when I don't have the ability to reciprocate anything, let alone, let alone, it's just one of those things where it's like, I can give you physical, but I can't give you emotional.
Right.
I can't give you any of that.
So if you step back, do you feel the same thing was happening in your career? You were giving a lot more to your career than it was giving to you?
I will say this. I didn't have a career before. I had a job.
So were you pouring into the job as if it was a career?
I was pouring into the job as if it was the reason why I got up in the morning, was to make sure that I was not homeless.
Right. Okay.
So I was doing it because I needed to make sure I had money, right?
Right.
But I was never doing it for the love of the job or the love of it was none of that.
No passion, just
no passion whatsoever. I was good at my job. I feel as though I was very good at my job. The people that were around me and the people that used to come in every day, they loved me. But then again, what they did was that they loved what they thought I was, right?
Right. And what you could give.
And what I could give and all them things there. But now that I'm no longer in that space, I'm in a space where, at least for now, everybody is very supportive. Everybody's very understanding. We all speak the same language. There's a difference. And I'm sorry, I can't really give myself to something that I'm too selfish for that right now. And it wouldn't be fair to anybody for me to be in a situation with them, if that makes any sense.
So what's this chapter, this season of your life called? Explain it, because I didn't explain mine, but you can explain it.
I think that right now, I don't know the name of this. I don't know. It's like a song with no lyrics right now. That's what I feel as though. It's like a song with no lyrics. So there's a melody, but it's a melody, but there's no.
So looking for the lyrics to the
song. The lyrics. Untitled. Yeah.
Untitled. How does it feel?
Untitled.
She said, "How does it feel?"
You already know. Yeah.
I love it. Go ahead, Angelo.
Right. So,
communication.
I'm just gonna slide right on to Coach Tay. So Coach
okay, so I'll start with, I feel you. I've been there. I'm not there no more. I'm so excited. But I know what it is, because and that's so unselfish, I have to say. And I think that more people should do that, because I'm dating, right? And I think that people that are dating, like, they're not all ready to like, I'm dating.
But but that's because, and you said this earlier, people want companionship, and so they mask it as, I'm ready for a relationship.
I don't want to compare. I have one of those, right? I'm good in a warm body. She's little, but she's still a warm body. I mean, like, I'm over y'all. But like, just I was so willing to save myself the headache, because I had too much. When you got 2 jobs and you in grad school, you literally don't have time. So when I set out on that path, like, it took me a while to turn it off, because even after I graduated, I was just like, I'm still good, like, because it's good over here. I'm good over here. I'm happy. I'm straight. I don't want to be stressed out by nobody's son or daughter. Okay. So, but now I'm just like, I'm open to love in all forms. So that means wherever I am, wherever I go, even places I haven't been yet, it could be there. He could be there. She could be there. I don't know. Yeah. They could be there.
Listen. So you don't have these boundaries of what this partner is,
or what? No, or what it looks like. My main thing is like a feeling, the connection, our chemistry, how you make me feel, how you deal with me is very, very important, because I'm a sensitive girl, both inside and out. Okay,
right.
But really, like, and I know what I need now. And I think that's the difference between where I was, like, miscommunication, and then where I am now. I've been on the self-love journey, because it never ends. It's a journey. That's why it's called a journey, right? Just like life. It never ends. So I think that the more you evolve, the more you grow, the more you learn and stretch yourself, You know, and it takes being uncomfortable and being in certain positions, like a leader, you know, leadership positions, something I don't want to do. It's not fun. Right? It's not, for the most part, it's not fun. I don't want to do it. But when you're when that's your assignment, I'll say, right? When that's what you're supposed to do, you can't run from that. You can't run from what you're put here to do. So
but you know what? You know what you got to say? I have to say this before I forget, but I mean, my brain just went to a journey without a destination is an adventure. So you just kind of like just gonna just go and see what happens and see what it's
just I'm on an adventure. Like Doc was saying, I'm pivoting, right? Like that was a major business, is pivoting from, you know, because shit changes, right? Things change. All right, the babies. Things change all the time. Right. So I have to learn how to learn and grow and navigate life. So that's where I am. I'm navigating, you know, my career, my family life, doing my best to still, you know, reach back home because I'm, you know, it ain't that far. It's right up the street, but my country folks don't leave home. I'm usually going back that way.
So what would this season be called for you?
Ooh, I'd say this would be, I'd call it blooming, because that's how I feel.
Like a flower. Like a flower.
Not like a flower.
Coach Tay and Bloom. I hear that. Let's go.
Coach Tay and Bloom. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Right. What about you, Doc? Talk to us.
I guess my title would be, this season would be preparing for the next.
Okay.
I'm such a Gemini. I'm such a Gemini. And because, if anybody knows, I know Coach Tay, we've had conversations on the show and just how wonderful Geminis are, because, you know, you just never know. Right. And so because of that, I'm very fickle when I get bored easily. Okay. And I'm trying to get in a place of mind where I need to just slow down, focus in on what you're trying to do, and get it done, and then move on to the next. Because the Gemini in me is like, ooh, got it. Right. Y'all getting on my dang nerves. Okay, now let me go over here. Ooh, y'all, what? And it's like, and so and so because of that, like, I'm trying to like settle me. And so I constantly have self conversations in order to stabilize me, to ground myself and not be all over the place in what I'm trying to get accomplished. Because as a Gemini, I can accomplish a couple of different things at the same time, if y'all know how Gemini operate. But I need to just settle, like zoom in and forge ahead. And so like that's where I am right now. And I see that I'm genuinely trying to do just that, to accomplish certain professional goals, to help myself again to elevate. The other thing in this season, because I think I shared with y'all, and even on the experience, I am in the process of writing a book. My beautiful friend Pearl, she had opportunity over the summer to read one of my chapters, and she was like, holy freaking cow, like what the Sam Bill Hill. So
all of that.
All that. And so because of that, I've had to again, because I got 50,000 things on a eye. Okay. You know, your stove has 4 eyes, and sometimes if you got that superpower stove, you got that 5th eye up there, that's like a warmer. Okay, but Doc Gray, like Doc's stove got like 10 freaking eyeballs. Okay, it's like it's doing too much sometimes. And so because of that, I'm trying to prioritize and focus myself on accomplishing one thing and then move on to the next, so that way I can give my true 100% to that one thing. So like that's why I say my title would be preparing for the next, because I'm truly at this stage preparing for whatever the next may be. And I just want to be ready when it comes.
All right, so I'm gonna challenge you, Doc, again. This gives time for miscommunication.
Yes.
I want you to reach back 5 years,
Yes,
maybe
girl.
10,
Maybe
reach
10.
back, maybe 10.
Mhm.
What would Doc now tell Doc, which probably wasn't Doc at the time?
She wasn't at all.
Right. What would you reach back face to face, Gemini mode, and tell that person? Because you're in a season, you've learned lots of things in the last 5 or 10, I'm sure last year, but last 5 to 10 years. So
Yeah.
reach back, right?
Hmm.
What would be that lesson? Which ironically, just for our audience that does watch this, your reaching back 5 to 10 years touches miscommunication, and our reaching back 5 or so years touches Coach Tay, to show how we're all indifferent. So what would you teach?
Ooh. So what I would,
Yeah, that's why I started with you.
no, you're good. You're good. So what I would tell myself 10 years ago, girl, my life has been so complex.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna tell y'all, children and grandchildren, they do something. But that's
If I had an organ, I'd play it for you.
girl, I'm trying to tell you, it's a whole baptism right there in my spirit. I would say I would say to myself, girl, you're on the right track. Just stay in it. Just stay in it.
So here's the funny thing about that. So yes.
Miscommunication.
But let me ask you this real quick, because I mean, I'm gonna answer the question too, but let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah, you're fine.
So you would tell yourself to stay in it, and you did, right? You stayed in it.
No,
So-
I didn't stay in it. That's because I told you I'm so Gemini, baby. I be hopping up when. No,
so you're saying that
you stayed in it. Just stay in it, girl.
But she's not saying she did stay in it. She's saying she would tell herself stay in it.
To continue saying. But here's the thing, though. Like, if we go back to the thing that I said earlier, right? And I'm going to answer the question. But if we went back to the thing that I said earlier about it being in God's time, I'll go and say what I tell myself, because I swear on everything I love.
Yeah. I
told somebody, my boss said to me, said that he said this to somebody else. Wow, I wish that you had gotten, her here, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, yeah, you wouldn't have gotten the same person 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
Because there were so many things that I needed to learn about myself, learn about, being, graceful in general, right? So I will say this, like, even when you say stay in it, I say this. I would tell myself, because I was frustrated 5-10 years ago.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very unhappy, very frustrated. And it wasn't until, and I want to say recently, that I said, okay, the priorities are different, right? Mm-hmm. But I will tell myself this. You got a lot of growing to do, shorty. Just like that, too. You got a lot of growing to do. And although you are grown in terms of age, you're not grown in terms of all experience.
Yeah.
So you need to go through sometimes you got to go through, I have a saying that I say, and no one understands it, but in this moment, it makes sense. You got to go through the bricks to get to the thunder. Does not make any sense. But I said it once and it sounded right. Right? I said it a long time ago. I said it in my 20s. You got to go through the bricks to get to the thunder. Meaning, sometimes you got to go through stuff. You got to hit your head against something. You got to, beat it up a little bit to get to the reward, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But
and I think that's what I would have told myself.
I want to add to, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but that's where I'm going, because we don't know how close we are.
Right. This much.
Where we are trying to be. And because of our experiences, because of our thought process, we jump, right. or we remove ourselves, or we withdraw, whatever.
So we have an illusion of control.
Absolutely. And so what happens is, we get in this state of uncertainty that makes us like start second guessing ourselves, right? And we're like, let me move this way. Let me pivot. Let me go over this way for a minute. Go ahead, friend. I'm sorry.
I think the other thing that Lynn said was in time, but you brought God. I mean, not that God is not in it for me. You brought God in it, but the hiccups, the stops, and are all a part of it.
That's all a part of it. You gotta go through that stuff.
So the stop is necessary too. The oops, I didn't do that is necessary too. I think, and I tell my kids this. So my kid, I'm not trying to minimize anxiety. I'm not trying to do that, right? But I tell my kids, what are you being anxious about? You wasn't in control in the first place. You've never been in control. So now you're having anxiety because you're losing control. What are you really losing? You're losing, to me, what you've lost is the journey. Because if we control everything, it's not a journey, it's a plan. You're just you following a plan. And so
I think fall apart. But go ahead. Right.
And that's fine. Because sometimes you're not failing down, you're failing up.
Correct.
And I think that's what we don't tend to realize. Like, how are you going to gain wisdom without the lesson?
Yes.
Right? You have to.
Because this pearl is not the pearl of, if this pearl is not the pearl that.
Well, I think, sorry.
Go ahead, Tay.
Because I didn't know you 5 to 10 years ago. So what is, when you say stay in it, are we talking about a relationship, a job, like something like
the course? I think she means the course.
Just the course, because, oh, sweet Jesus, I'm not going to go into everything, but what I would say is during that time, there were a lot of moving parts personally. Right. And then there were a lot of moving parts professionally. Okay. And so when I say stay in it, what I'm saying is, if on everything, if I had stayed put professionally, and I tell my girlfriend who I used to work with, we like sister friends now, like we still to this day, if I had just stayed in it. And what's crazy is, and you got to pay attention to people that you don't even think you need to be paying attention to, because when you get ready to do something that probably isn't in your best interest, and I don't mean to bring God into this, but I will for a moment. Because God will have somebody come up and ask you, is that really what you want to do?
Oh, yes. Is
that really what you want to do? And I was like, yeah. That was like, are you sure? Because you're so good at what you do. Is that really what you want to do? Yeah.
Because it wasn't the person he was bringing. That was a messenger. That's where
I'm going with this. And so because of that, that's what I'm saying. If I had stayed in it on everything in my being, I strongly believe that what my life goal, professional, let me say it away, what my professional life goal has been, that I've been saying ever since 2010, and we're in 2024 now, would have manifested if I kept my hips on course.
But here's the thing. The person that you, okay, so I can see how you could see that, and I understand that, because that makes sense, right? But I feel as though, like I always say that, like, take for instance, I had my son when I was 24 years old, right?
Yeah.
And I said to myself, people say, oh, you had your son when you're 24 years old, blah, 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 blah. What if you had waited, or what if, then I wouldn't have the same child?
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I don't.
Right?
Maybe not even with the same person.
Right. The kid thing is the kid thing. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's like, sometimes it's like, you just got to, like, listen, the doc that is now on that goal, and the doc that's now in that motion, and the doc that, this is a different doc. And this doc understands and respects what was happening before.
Absolutely.
And therefore, as much as we want to if we could go back and tell our younger selves anything,
Yeah.
the thing that I would say is, especially me, I would definitely be like on some like, listen, shorty. I keep on saying shorty because that's what I say to myself sometimes.
And that's fine, but this is just like the hypothetical. What would you say? And right now,
Yeah, no, but I would say, I would say to her, I would literally say to her, you know what? It's gonna be okay. Mm-hmm. You're gonna get some bumps and some bruises, and you're gonna get punched in the face, and you're gonna get dragged down. But you know what?
Punched in the face, sweet Jesus.
Yeah, no, I mean like emotionally punched in the face. Emotionally,
I get you saying. I'm being
dragged out. I mean like that, like the knocks, the hard knocks, make me appreciate the calm now. And I know that doesn't sound like I've always had like, and now it's like, oh.
But wisdom comes with a price. Your receipt is everything that you've learned. And I say that all the time. Like people go, oh, well, how you just be coming up with stuff. I said, you wouldn't trade places for the things I've been through to obtain this.
Never.
So I
don't think I would trade places with anybody, because at the end of the day, it might sound good, but I'm trying to tell you, it's not.
It don't feel good, right?
It don't smell good. It don't taste good.
I don't think you should. I don't think we should. Like, I feel like our journey is our journey, and like a lot of times, because I think about it too. Like, it it's hard. Oh, why me? But like, why not you?
Right.
You know
Why not you? Then who?
But we also do this to
anyone else. You know.
Right. But we also do this to each other as women. We minimize each person's experience because we start well, I did it, and if it was you, and if it listen, boo.
Yeah, it sounds good in theory.
Shoes are custom made for me, right? And you don't know what I've been through, where I am, and what my assignment is for you to minimize it because you want to compare it. Girl, if it was me, but it's not.
It's not. Right, but it's not. It's me.
It's not. And it wasn't meant to be you either. Stop thinking about. That's why I'm telling you, I told them, I said straight up, I said, this job was not meant for the as they call me, Miss Lynn, the Miss Lynn of 10 years ago.
Right.
Because she was not ready for all of this. She was not ready for the pressure. She was not ready for the people. She was not ready, but she didn't have any of the things they tell me all the time. I always got some wise sage advice to give, or a saying that no one else ever heard of. Yeah, because you ain't heard it because I got 20 years on you at this point.
Right.
But the thing about it is that with that wisdom came a lot of things. Like you said, it came with a lot of stuff.
Right.
So I earned my badges.
And ladies, I will say this, and then I'm gonna be quiet, Pearl, so that way
you're fine. I'll say let's take
this is the conversation we're supposed to be having today. This is it.
Pearl, because Pearl is navigating. She got something on her mind. So what I was gonna say simply is this. What I would say to all of you, and I said this like 4 years ago to a former supervisor, because he really pissed me off. And I normally don't have this kind of attitude towards a supervisor, because you just don't.
Right.
But on this given day, because of how he was coming at me,
right.
What I told him is what I will tell you all. Is simply this. Beautiful ladies on this panel, you do not need not now person. I took it back to Eastern North Carolina, sis. You don't need now person.
Now person.
Confirm or affirm who you are, because you are already in your greatness. Dag nabbit, walk in it. Hold your head high and know who you are. Point blank, period. You don't need nobody to affirm or confirm you. You already know what's in you. Just move in it.
Right.
Go ahead, sis. I'm sorry. I'm done. But I just want to let y'all know this.
It was Coach Tay's turn to go back 5 to 10 years to tell the Coach Tay of 5 or 10 years. What would you tell Coach?
Oh, Lord. Well, first of all, Doc, I receive it. Okay. All right.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Oh gosh. So 5 years ago, oh Lord, I would just get ready, child. I would say, "Look, girl, buckle down. It's about to get crazy." But 10 years ago, I'd be like, man, like this is just the beginning, because I was just graduating with my first master's. So like, yeah, I just would have been real encouraging, like, all right, bitch, this is it. Like, what we about to do now, So that was I can't believe it's been that long, Lord. You don't think about it. But yeah, because I was such like I've kind of been on a trajectory. Like I had a plan, right? And it was laid out. Like this is how. So that's kind of where I was. I was like finishing up, the plan and like starting a new one. So, yeah. So that's kind of where I was 10 years ago. But 5 years ago, yeah, it's more so like, all right, bitch. Get your ducks in a row. The shit about to hit the fan. Because things, that was what, 2019? Yeah, because things were about to go crazy. But it wasn't as bad for me. Like talking pandemic wise. I mean, it could have been worse, of course, because we all survived, thank God. But pre-pandemic, like I think we didn't realize how. Well, I didn't realize how blessed I really was, and like. A lot of times we don't realize how grateful we need to be. And gratitude is something I've learned over the years. Start there. Like start with being grateful every single day. Because that's how I feel like you welcome, new blessings into your life. So
absolutely
nice. Okay, so my turn. I have multiple messages. So I'm gonna go back maybe 11 years. 12. Okay. There's a reason. So 12 years ago, I was officially divorced. Okay. And I'm going back there because that mentally was. Yeah. One of my first messages would be that what you're looking for is already in you. That would be the first thing. What you're looking for is already in you. And my next message would be, it doesn't matter how many of the people you've listed that you want to accept you, none of it is going to make it better if you don't accept yourself. And really, all that snapping. And the other thing, girl, take your ass off the clearance rack and put yourself on the top shelf. Like literally, that's probably, and just like that.
But you were single for a while, so it wasn't like he was like out there.
But my mentality was
still in that mode.
Still in the mode, still in the conditioning of, oh my gosh, you have 3 kids, you're not married, oh, you're failing, and da-da-da-da-da. Oh, and then what women do, picking myself apart. Oh, you should be skinnier, you should be taller, you should be richer, you should be like, bruh, I don't have none of it. I don't have none of it, and I'm okay. So that would be I have many lessons, and I'm kind of echoing a little bit from Tay. I am so grateful for the bad things that happened to me. Mm-hmm. Because the good things would not exist without it.
And they're sweeter when you've been through some shit.
Right. the value that I have in life, the moments of stillness and going, it's gonna work out, whatever. I think falling in love with myself was one of the best experiences that I had. Not falling in love with my kids, because it's almost natural that happens. Oh, it's my baby. But falling in love with myself it was like I was surviving for a purpose. I wasn't just in survival mode. I was surviving so that I can take hold of my purpose. And now in this season, I'm in purpose, on purpose. As before, in survival mode, you just, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm drowning. And it's really like, no, I'm gaining my sea legs. I'm learning how to swim. So lastly, because we're like, this is so good. It's so deep. Ooh. I really want to know what your words for other women are. We as women, especially Black women, we are in somewhat of a survival mode in this country, right? We get kind of side-eyed. We are always, let's be real, expected to save, fix, and make it right.
Yeah.
But ain't nobody, and I'm going to say it with a curse, ain't one motherfucker coming to save you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just being honest. If you go into any workplace, if you go into even a church, if you go into a house, Black women, and I'm not trying to minimize white women, I'm not saying that, but Black women are making it happen. I have a white friend that says she tells her other white friends, if you are ever anywhere and you need help, look for a Black woman.
That's the thing. I've heard that was a real thing in life. Yeah. People are,
but yet we are not honored in the black magic that we've done for centuries. We're not. We were the ones who were taking care of multiple families and multiple, whatever. I say that to say, what would you tell another woman, not just black, another woman? What's your nugget for tonight to wrap this up?
Am I going first?
If that's what you want to do.
So, as a woman, you are required or expected to do many things, right? I would tell women, have grace with yourself.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace, because at the end of the day, there will always be someone who is going to. There was always going to be someone who's going to criticize you. You have more critics than celebrations.
Right.
People will celebrate.
Don't be one of those critics either, though.
No, but listen, here's the thing. You have enough on your shoulders and you have enough on your back. But know this, that again, the reason why God only gives his toughest tests and toughest trials to those who he knows can survive and can thrive and can do it, right? He tested Job all the time. We have patience beyond that. I always say I'm a very patient person. But there are times when the patience is short or the load is too heavy and things of that nature. So sometimes put it down. Put it down. Relax.
Okay.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. But the thing about it is that I'm glad you asked this question, because I think that a lot of people need to hear this in real life. It's like, I think all of us on this panel and everybody that's at home watching, wherever you're watching, we've all been there. We may not be exactly in the same spot, the same time in our lives, but I think we've all been there. So give yourself some grace.
Right.
Breathe into it and just give it to yourself.
Right. What about you, Coach?
Love it. So what I would tell women is, and I feel like it's my duty, especially as an intimacy coach, it's not just about you with the partner. It's about you and yourself. And I love, Black Pearl, how you said, like, learning to love yourself. That's such a huge part of it. So my advice will be, it starts with you. And self-love is not selfish, because a lot of times I hear people say that, and that as a self-love ambassador, that's just simply not true, because of everything that we handled through for as long as we know, centuries back, right? Black women have been the backbone. I've heard that across races, across countries, continents. We are the cat's meow. I don't care what you say. Yeah. I don't care. Keep denying it. It's fine. It's still a fact.
Oh, it's fine. Deny it. It's still here.
In order to keep pouring into other people, you got to pour into yourself first, baby. You have to. It starts with you. So make sure you good, and everybody doesn't need the same thing. So be in tune with yourself. Find out what you need. Do that, and then get to work.
Okay. All right, Doc, come on. I know you coming. I feel it. Yeah, and just like, vroom, vroom.
So I'm going to carry the torch, take the baton from my friend Coach Tay, and simply say to women that when you, and Pearl, you mentioned this earlier about the empty nest and having children that are adults now. I want to speak to mom guilt. Mothers, you have done an excellent job raising your children.
Amen.
And if you know that you have instilled in them the rights and the wrongs of life to avoid those pitfalls, if you know that you have instilled in them truth, and when I say truth, I'm talking about TRUTH, that don't come from you, that comes from your higher being.
Right.
When you know that you have instilled those things in your child. The word says, if you teach them, they will not stray. And if they depart, they will come right on back home. Listen to me. You have done a phenomenal job. And so, what I'm going to say to women is this: when you know what you know, even if it hurts, because it's going to hurt, sometimes you got to let your children go.
Right.
So that you have peace that comes from understanding.
Right.
Understanding that you have done your job. Allow your child to have those pitfalls so that what we're talking about today, which is growing from those mistakes, those challenges that we went through in our life, allow your child to go through that.
Right.
Because that's what makes them grow character. That's what makes them stronger men and women. If all you do is constantly come in and try to fix, you are crippling your child.
Right.
Stop. And not only are you crippling your child, love, you are crippling yourself. Because in that moment that you are trying to help your child, you are essentially becoming codependent. And then we create a codependency relationship that essentially drains you as a woman. Stop it. And I said it with vehemently. That's why I said it with stop it. Cut it out. And I know I'm coming across strong, but I'm serious, because there are so many women out here who are struggling with mom guilt and trying to figure out, well, how my baby's going through this, and my baby. Listen, baby, your baby gonna be okay. Give them what they need and let it go.
Gotcha.
And they're gonna figure out how to fly, or they're gonna keep on being a little bird and walk. But on everything, if something big enough get up on them, what's gonna happen, y'all? They're gonna fly, because they're gonna get up out of there. They're gonna figure it out.
Right.
That's my word. I'm sorry.
You made me think of something else. All right. So I'm in multiples today. Sorry, guys. So I have two. So one, I think it is echoing what everyone else said. To our women out here, it doesn't matter how much you pour into anyone else, especially that man. You're not gonna fix that man. You can pour into everybody else. If you do not pour into yourself, nothing. It doesn't matter who you pour into. It's just not going to work. It's almost like pouring into something that has a hole in it. It's not going to work. You need to pour into yourself. And I understand as women, it's challenging because it's so easy for us to point and fix everybody else's stuff. But that desire to always fix everyone else is actually because you need to pour into yourself. Period. Mm-hmm. And lastly, in a world where everyone is, again, I'm bringing it up, having anxiety, worry, perfection is an illusion, and doing your best is a choice. Choose wisely. And that's my thing. That's my thing. So we made it into an hour. I think we could have kept going, to be honest with you. But we'll be back because we got lots of topics. Brewing. I love the topics that we've been sharing with each other, and just coming back and being transparent and honest with everyone. We're going to talk about the things that you should be in your living room with your little champagne glass. See, Tay had it. Show me, Tay. Tay, show me your thing. Girl, get your glass.
I got a whole bucket.
Get you a stemless, wine glass.
Right.
Get you a bottle of wine. It's Friday. Get you a bottle of wine. If you're not going out to hang out, come hang out with us.
Right. Absolutely. Right.
Hang out with us.
So thank you for joining us here in The Experience, where the experience is always good. Have a good one, guys.